At this point,
Yes, I might as well.
you also have
Yes,
one?
please.
Okay. At this time, does anyone have a question you want to ask at this time? Okay. As I said, I introduced our discussion a few minutes ago, that is the integration of schools in Palm Beach County, especially as it affected the citizens of Delray Beach. How many of you are in Delray who had something to do with that school integration? One way or the other. You had relatives there, your parents were there, or whatever. Anybody who had anything to do with the school integration. Okay, thank you very much for showing your hands. Some of you I recognize didn't raise your hand, but that's all right. I'm gonna call on you anyway. We're not here to beat up on anybody. We're not here to talk to anybody. We just want to have good positive comments or relations as it relates. It related then and how it relates now today to the integrations of Palm Beach County. I think one of our main questions we want to find out or know about is, was it a good thing? Was it a good thing that we did have the school integration? Or, okay, good, one hand.
No,
Oh,
she's gonna answer.
oh, you're gonna answer.
Yeah.
Okay, not right now, not right now.
All right.
Oh, was it a bad thing? We should have never had school integration. We should have never had kids, black kids and white kids going to the same school at the same time. That's what it was all about, isn't it? Or was it? What was school integration back then? What was it? Now you can answer. Raise your hand and answer.
Well,
What was that about?
I just wanted to get on the books before we get too far into other things. My name is Rosemary Wilson. I was Rosemary Irvin when I was in school.
Oh.
And I was one of the students that got sent away from Carver Junior Senior High School, first to Delray Junior High, and then on to Boca
Wait,
Community.
let me ask you, stop and ask you. From what school you said, the first school?
Carver Junior Senior High School.
Okay, that was a black school.
Yes, it was.
All right, go ahead.
And then we were sent away to Delray Junior High.
Okay, that's
for
black
8th and 9th
school.
grade.
Black
That was a
school.
white school, had been a white school.
Okay,
And where was that?
That was right next to what was Seacrest High School, which is, I'm not sure what it is now.
Okay.
It doesn't even exist, I don't think the building is there anymore.
Okay.
And not Delray Junior High, I don't think is there anymore. And then once we, matriculated from there, we were sent to Boca. Well, it was very weird because if you lived on the north side of Delray Beach, you were sent to Boca Community Senior High. If you lived on the south side, or some south residents were sent to Atlantic, which was the former Seacrest, which was sort of crisscrossed from the direction. But anyway, I graduated the class of '74, and the first class to graduate from there that had been sent from Delray was the class of '73. So we were in the thick of all of the tumultuous times at Boca. They had black students there from Pearl City, which was the black community in Boca. So it wasn't that they had not ever had black students, but they had not had the influx that they received once we were all set there. And we all know that it started from 1955 Board of Brown versus Board of Topeka, Kansas, but it took Florida to 69, 70 to take action. And I'm not sure exactly, maybe you all know what caused that to finally occur.
There were 2 additional court cases from what I read
Okay,
that
made it happen.
but we're gonna find out for real in a minute.
Okay. Well, if you'll allow me to finish my story, I'll shut up and then we can find all the real good stuff. But we went, and it was difficult. It wasn't maybe as hard as what you saw in Arkansas with those first 9 students, because there were more of us, but it was very difficult because it was obvious that we were not wanted. And it really came to a head, and maybe my husband, Gregory Vic Wilson, he's known as Vic Wilson in the community, we've been married 32 years now, can tell you more, but there was one morning where those students, black students from Delray who had vehicles, arrived earlier, of course, than those of us who had come on county buses. And someone had scribbled on the walls, you know, the N-word, go home, we don't want you here. And then some ridiculous comment about we kill Shaft, you know, and they tried to keep us on the buses so that we would not see it. And it didn't matter because the car drivers had seen it, you know. But we had already been going through problems. I mean, the police were called almost daily. There would be tear gas and running and people trying to escape the tear gas and the batons, and it was just surreal. It wasn't real. But this is how we were being educated. And whether your question as to whether it was a good thing, I guess it had to happen. It makes me almost cry now, 40 years later, because it was difficult. I mean, our parents had no idea what we were being sent to. They just knew this is what we had to do. And we had to face it on our own. There were people, leaders, fortunately, who cared a lot about us, who tried to help. But the day-to-day living of it was on us.
Questions, comments? Do we have a
And-
follow-up to that?
I have a question. All that took place at Boca High?
Yes, and
Yes,
if you, I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead, tell about your.
If you go on the web right now and find out about Boca history, it doesn't
It
exist.
doesn't. That's
But
what.
you go to Atlantic or Lake Worth, they acknowledge that there was strife. Boca, it was just wonderful. Nothing happened, but lots happened.
We didn't find out about it, I'm Vic Wilson. Yeah, but we didn't find out about it until last year. We are class of 76 from Boca. Every year they give, they have a class reunion. They invite Boca, they invite Atlantic, they invite Lake Worth. And Gary Holloman did research on everything. That's how he found out, because he was trying to give us the history of S.B. Spady, how it came about. And then while he was up speaking in church that Sunday, he was telling us the way that Boca have it, they wiped out all records of everything that went down about the riot. It's nothing on record, because you go on the internet, you can find something about Lake Worth, you can find something about Atlantic and all the Palm Beach, all the schools except Boca. Boca is literally clean if you look on the file. Because like even in my situation, a lot of people think I got thrown out of school behind the riot. I didn't get thrown out of school. Reverend Teller can let you know everything from Delray Junior High up, because he was with us all this time.
Who was this, Reverend?
Reverend Teller. Yes.
Raise your hand, Reverend Taylor.
And he and Zach, Miss Hill, and a couple of others was always there.
Johnny's here?
And, yes, she know. And they even know who started the riot. For after they got everything settled down, we had one, they rushed all of us to the cafeteria when they came off the bus. We had one person standing up on the table, Percy Pratt, telling everybody, let's go out and riot, let's go out and do this and that.
Wait a minute. This, you say Purcell Pratt. Is this a white person or a
No,
black?
he was black. He was among the group of us. We was in the cafeteria.
Okay, why did you want to riot?
Because we felt we were being treated unfairly. They were corralling us in the cafeteria as if we were the troublemakers.
Listen, they had the custodians out cleaning the walls, trying to get all the nasty stuff written on the walls. They were trying to get it off. And then once everybody got so riled up in the cafeteria, that's when everybody broke out and started fighting all over campus. And me, myself, they tried to say that I started it, but it wasn't true. The reason they tried to throw me out of the county because of a teacher. And they couldn't do that because my attorney, when they went to court, all the white students that they brought up on the witness stand, every one of them testified that I stopped people from doing things to them. And so they had to let me back, so they told me I can go to school from Lake Worth back the other way because they didn't want me to come back to Boca. In Atlantic, Josh Smith and Leroy Bain said they didn't want me out there. My attorney told me this. They didn't want me to Atlantic. And so Coach Coffey got me down at Dilla, and I was there about a month. And I found out that I needed 3 credits to graduate in Broward County. Because Broward County, you didn't need as many credits as you did in Palm Beach. And then I ended up going to Difffield, and I graduated in December. And I did end up going to Bethune-Cookman.
Well, the point I want to make, though, is that we had tried other ways. We had human relations committees.
Yes.
We had set out and gathered at Mount Olive Baptist Church with a list of things that we felt we should have as students of, equal, I guess, footing with the other students at the community high schools. And to be honest, I really have stayed away from the community up until just a year ago because of some of this. And it's still fresh, it's still
Yeah, 'cause
there.
even far as the riot was going in, the difference in fighting and going on in schools, it didn't really start at Boca, it started at Delray Junior High. Reverend Taylor, Reverend Thomas, and Zach, and a couple of other white guys came along, even Virginia Snyder, she was working with the student. And they had an episode at Delray Junior High. And we came together, the white group and the black group, the ones they thought was causing the problem. And we had meetings, and we ended up wearing, they ended up ordering a sweatshirt, and all of us became friends for the rest of the year after it happened one time out there. Then they separated everybody and went to Boca, and that's where the problem began. But if you go through the history, a lot of people at our age group don't like talking about it, because even after the riot went on, the next day, a lot of the students got together in their cars and went back to Boca
And that's what you keep speaking of.
with guns, and they got in trouble. A lot of them went to jail because they got caught with those guns on that end. And a lot of people still think that they went down with guns and came back. No, they got arrested with their guns.
But your first question is whether it was a good thing. As a country, we had a Declaration of Independence since 1776 that say everyone is created equal and has the right to search for happiness, to find it somehow. And we say that we want togetherness and unity, and everybody's free to find that. So eventually there was going to have to be some togetherness brought in the school system because it was definitely unequal. Our textbooks were tatters. Our teachers tried their hardest. I mean, we loved Carver Junior Senior High, don't get me wrong. I don't know how many of you graduated there or taught there on the side. So we loved that school. That school defined us, and we were identified through that. But we weren't getting a fair shake. Going to
Boca, we had not only the white teachers not wanting to teach us properly, we had a lot of blacks not wanting to teach us. They didn't want blacks there because even at the Atlantic, like Leroy Bain was the principal, and he knew all those kids because he came from Carver, and he would curse them out, and send them home and make them leave school and just turn them against going to school. And that wasn't fair either. So it wasn't just one-sided. But they was trying to impress the people over here. Because I didn't never say nothing to Josh Smith until last year. I told him I was grown and I could let him know now. I don't have to respect him like I did when I was a kid. So I had to let him know he was wrong. And I knew he was wrong, but he always thought all those years I didn't know about it because I never spoke of it. Because my mom always taught me, respect your elders. But after I got the age I am now, I felt I could speak my mind.
And you know what? I'm here wondering if that is not something that's still eating you, or that is, that is with you, within you, that you cannot. What could you do to get rid of that?
And it's not just the two of us, because we talk to classmates.
No, I mean personally, you can only speak for yourself.
Yes.
How is that affecting you today
sit at
as a
59 and
grown
60.
man who has been married 30-some years? You still have all of these feelings in you. How is that affecting you
But
now?
I let it roll off me when people approach me. I just let them know now. Before I kept quiet, but now I feel there's more room out here than in me, and I will let you know how I feel. That she would let it ball up in her because she's that type. But I just can't, even trying to work together with people, they pretend